Floods that have scarred the hill country and the people that live there. Thank you for joining us. We continue our team coverage as search efforts are underway for those who remain missing after deadly hill country floods. We have crews in Kerrville, Bernie, Hunt, and Ingram.
So here at KSAT right now, we're reporting 90 deaths. These numbers are just into our newsroom. In the last hour, we have learned of 6 deaths in Kendall County. And just about 10 minutes ago, we learned that the death toll in Kerr County has risen to 84. So you may be hearing some conflicting death tolls. So this is what we want to clarify for you, that besides the 90 combined deaths between Kerr and Kendall counties, there are at least 10 more people who have died in flooding in other counties, including 5 in Travis County. So again, that may be why you may be hearing different numbers in press conferences or within the media. So we wanted to clear that up.
It has been a difficult few days for so many here in South Central Texas. Even as search efforts continue, we are still in a flood watch tonight in San Antonio, in areas of the hill country, many that are still reeling from last Friday morning's rains.
So meteorologist Adam Caskey is tracking this for us. Adam, what are the conditions like right now in the areas that are under a flood watch?
Well, we have the isolated pop-up downpours that could quickly drop 2 to 4 inches of rainfall, with locally 5 inches or more if we get a few downpours in the same spot. Luckily, these are more progressive than what we had a few nights ago and on the morning of 4th of July. But the flood watch for all the green counties you see here, from Kerr County to Medina, Uvalde, northward into the hill country, and even Guadalupe County. And again, that includes the hill country and the Edwards Plateau. So let's take a look at authority radar. Big picture. Not much rain in the hill country right now. That's a good sign. Most of the rain has developed south of San Antonio, where the ground is still pretty saturated, but not as saturated as in the hill country. Now, these pop-up afternoon downpours, what we call the diurnal showers and storms, and that's the way it's going to be again tomorrow. So, for example, look at the past hour here. You see these thunder showers pop up, they develop, they mature, and then they rain themselves out, kind of like what we saw yesterday. But that can still be enough to cause localized flash flooding, particularly street flooding and low water crossings. So right now, the latest downpour that we have is on this far south side of San Antonio, near Mission San Jose, or I should say San Jose, actually, and then Columbia Heights, Lackland Air Force Base. This is one quick downpour, could give you a quick inch of rain. This is what we can expect through about 9 p.m. this evening. More of these downpours developing and popping up, and I do anticipate another round tomorrow. We'll get into that in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. As you can see, we've been trying to keep track of the flood damage and rescue efforts in different parts of Kerr County. We've been in Ingram, Center Point, Hunt, and Kerrville just over the last few days.
And as crews have been out there, we have heard so many different stories coming from people who live there, or maybe they were just visiting. Myra Arthur now joins us live from Ingram at a place that's become a staging operation for help. Myra, tell us what's happening right behind you.
You know, Steve and Stephania, they always tell you in the aftermath of a disaster, look for the helpers. We've heard that so many times, and I found them today. We found a lot of them. So we're here at City West Church in Ingram. This is just about a mile down the road from where they have since blocked off a lot of volunteers, rather, media especially, trying to make sure that all those first responders that are really congregated in the Hunt area can do their work without so much impediment. But the people here are making sure that those first responders and those volunteers that are boots on the ground are being cared for as well. It's dinner time, and the mission right now is to keep those people fed. We stepped in here just a few minutes ago, and I can't tell you how quickly this operation wrapped up. We've watched those tables of folks all day long, lined on each side, handing off plate after plate. This is Mercy Chefs. They are a nationwide group of chefs from all over that come together and cook hot meals for these volunteers and these people that are doing this painstaking work in this effort of rescue and recovery. And when I mean that it is all hands on deck, I truly mean that. This help is coming in all forms. Outside in the parking lot, we'll show you later what that operation looks like, but you can imagine a lot of big trucks, a lot of refrigerated trucks, big vehicles from local firefighters and crews really from across the state and across the nation. But we spotted a trolley that was out there loading up meals, a man behind the wheel. His name is Michael McKenzie, and I had to find out what he was doing here and how that trolley was being put to use. Take a listen.
The parking lot full of vehicles. There's 18-wheelers, there's fire trucks, there's heavy machinery. I mean, first responders
Your vehicle obviously stands out. Did you just show up here?
Yes, yeah. Tim and I, and my brother Tim, we drove all the way from Kyle. Well, pretty close, but Kyle, and we saw what happened. We saw all the prayers going out, and it was just, we felt called to be here. So we came out and we're passing waters and ministering to who we could, and 9 out of 10 people were just saying yes, like, please, we need prayer, and just saying the whole nation's grieving, everyone. Like I have an 8-year-old daughter, and like it's hard not to even be brought to tears, because it's just, what if that was your daughter, right?
I have an 8-year-old son, and I've thought a lot about that.
You'd be out doing whatever you can.
Show me how you're using this trolley, okay? We just missed you after you did a big lunchtime run, but tell me, when you're taking these meals out, how is this place packed? I mean, what are you taking with you when you're headed out to some of these sites?
Lots of meals, socks. So I know that they were needing socks down in the main disaster area, ground zero, you know, and it stretches for miles. Like, every person's coming together. Yeah. So it's not one person, it's not anyone, it's glorifying God. It really is. And just being a vessel. It is powerful, but sometimes you gotta be the one that steps in and just goes for it.
I think we all have been looking for, the silver lining, a bright spot, something to give us hope in all of this, and I found it here today. So I'm so happy that we were able to share what Michael and countless other volunteers are doing here. He just loaded up his trolley with a bag of hot, fresh meals. They're serving pork tenderloin to volunteers here tonight. You know, the mission of this organization is to go beyond so often the cold sandwiches and crackers that are easy and convenient and certainly needed, but they are really trying to nourish people, and Michael is a part of that. So I just want to thank everybody who has been carrying out this mission. We've seen a lot of prayer here, we've seen a lot of hugs, and it is truly people from everywhere, even other countries, and we're going to talk to some of those folks coming up at 6 who have come a very long way to help out in this effort. Steve and Stephanie.
You know, Myra, somebody said earlier today that adversity shows you who you are. And so I think that we are seeing a lot of heroes, a lot of people helping out. And so thank you for bringing us that report today, Myra. Rescue and recovery efforts continue across the Hill Country. A large focus continues to be Kerr County, but crews in neighboring counties like Kendall also dealing with heartbreaking circumstances.
So we know that Kendall County leaders, they held a quick media briefing about an hour ago, and John Paul Barajas was out there for us. John Paul, what information did they have, new information, at the presser?
Steve, Stephania, not a lot of information was given, and they didn't take any questions after the media briefing, after the press conference, but the Kendall County emergency coordinator and also the Kendall County judge did confirm that 6 bodies were found in Kendall County.
Although there have been 6 recoveries, there are no confirmed missing Kendall County residents as of today. Identification is pending on the 6 individuals recovered.
That was Emergency Management Coordinator Brady Constantine. It's still unclear if those 6 recovered are originally from Kendall County or from somewhere else and then found in Kendall County. However, a silver lining, he did mention that there are no confirmed missing Kendall County residents at this time. Officials also mentioned that they'll be having daily or by 4 o'clock updates on the Kendall County Emergency Management's Facebook page, specifically to their county. So if you're looking for updates in your area, Kendall County, you should be able to find updates there daily. Steve, Stephania.
Thank you, John Paul. And by the way, the search area that we're talking about is roughly 80 miles of waterway. We're talking from Hunt all the way to Canyon Lake that they're searching right now. Those efforts continuing for a 4th day. The cleanup, though, is also very much underway.
Garrett Berger joins us now from Hunt. That's where the north and the south forks of the Guadalupe River meet. Garrett, we've been 4 days into this. What does it look like in Hunt right now?
Well, the term we keep hearing from people is that it looks like a war zone. Right here where the water went through, there is debris everywhere you look. It's hard to get away from the devastation, but as this town has been knocked down, neighbors are now lending each other a hand to pick each other back up. Nestled against the river's edge, much of the hunt was right in the path of the Guadalupe as it overflowed on July 4th. Uprooted trees, smashed buildings, piles of debris, they are everywhere you look. And we're still hearing about problems with running water. And there are a lot of people, though, trying to help others. We talked with a Kerrville firefighter who, after helping out with search and rescue early on after the flood, is now helping with cleanup at Camp Waldemar.
We just grew up in this community, me and my wife. And so we have, friends, family everywhere. You look left, you look right, there's something to do. It just doesn't feel right to sit at home, so get to work.
Donations are also stacking up. Food, water, clothes, cleaning products. We stopped at 2 distribution sites where people from Hunt are definitely feeling the love. We'll have more on that coming up at 6. And we have also heard that people are being told to stay away, not to come through to be, looky-loos and check out the devastation. But we've also heard from people who are coming in to help. There's people setting up places to eat, make sure that folks get a good hot meal. I just talked with a guy from Laredo who said he's an EMT. He came up to help with search and rescue efforts, basically showed up and said, "Where can I go?" So there are people out there. Whenever this happens, people do show up. And as much as this loss of life is devastating, it is comforting to know that people are out there. They want to help. They do show up. Live in Hunt, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, Garrett, like you just reported, that firefighter from Kerrville saying it didn't feel right to sit at home with all this devastation. So he got to work. Thank you, Garrett. We're hearing more stories of survival as well, including from those staying at the River Inn. It's a popular summer resort in Hunt. It's been around for decades.
Dylan Collier has more on what happened there when the banks of the river became no match for the floodwaters.
Many people ran to higher ground. For those that couldn't, they waited out the storm in parked vehicles along TX 39 or on the rooftop of this building, which is on property, but thankfully further away from the Guadalupe River.
We've heard the thunder echo in those canyons, and so yes, the thunder was way louder, but it's also, we've heard it before.
But as a lifelong visitor to the River Inn, nothing prepared Emma Rigger for what she saw around 3 a.m. Friday. Water over the banks of the river and approaching the buildings of the beloved Hill Country getaway. Emma, her husband Seth, their 6 children, including twins younger than a year old, as well as other family members, tried to reach a nearby neighborhood, but were blocked by the raging river.
I handed off one of the twins to a stranger I didn't know, and he walked.
The family somehow made it to the so-called mill house, a 2-story structure on property.
We'd push and they'd pull, and it was probably 40 to 45 people.
General Manager Scott Towery said they used bed sheets to hoist people to safety.
The current was coming, and that was our only option, was to put these people on the roof.
The building withstood the rapids, and the water finally receded around daybreak.
A lot of those vehicles that were between River Inn and what they call that mill house and the tennis court area, they floated away.
In Hunt, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
And you're watching this and you're thinking, how can I help? Well, there are so many ways that you can do that. Maybe you want to volunteer. Maybe you want to donate money. So we do want to direct you to some places where you can do that. You see that QR code on your screen? Just scan it, because that'll give you a list of where you can donate and also where to call if you want to volunteer.
We've got some other news new at 5. An investigation underway in San Antonio at this hour after a couple found dead in their southeast side home. It happened at a home on West Loop 410 and South Rigsby Avenue. SAPD says the family were concerned because they had not heard from their loved ones in a while. Family showed up at the house to look for the couple. They found one person dead. They called police. When authorities arrived, they found the second dead body. Right now, police say it is unclear what the cause of death was.
So now we want to take things outside and give you a live look as to what the traffic is like there right now. So that's Highway 90 that you're looking at there at Nogalitos, and doesn't look too bad out there. 513, traffic not too bad. And we'll be right back with meteorologist Adam Caskey, who's going to join us with the latest weather forecast after the break.
As I said earlier, the saying is you find out who you truly are in the face of adversity, and we are seeing that play out all across the Texas Hill Country. The helpers, the bright spot in the aftermath of this disaster.
It just warms your heart. Myra Arthur joins us now live again from Ingram. And Myra, you've been out there for a few days and you've been watching volunteers come out. It seems like everywhere you turn, you see somebody there wanting to help in this effort. It hasn't stopped.
It hasn't. And you know, Steve, to your point, what you said, you find out who you are. I think we're finding out that Texans are who we believed we were all along. This has been a place here at City West that has not stopped moving since we have been here. And I have Molly McDonald here with Mercy Chefs, the volunteer coordinator. And it's been amazing to watch, Molly, just the volunteers that have come through here, the first responders that have come through here. You are serving hot meals. I mean, I can think of no more basic but essential way to care for somebody than to feed them. You were telling me you go all over the world to respond to disasters, but there is something unique about what's happened here.
There's definitely something unique. You know, when you come to this area, when you see the devastation, but when you come into this parking lot and you walk into that building and you see people not just from this area, but from all over Texas and even other states that are representing here, it's a beautiful thing. You have so many Texans representing and they want to just help their neighbor, whether that means that they're driving hours away or they just live right down the street. They all say the same thing: we just want to help, we just want to find a way to provide that assistance, and it's a beautiful thing. It's very humbling.
Yeah. Or if they show up with a trolley, which is parked just over there, like we showed earlier today. And I want to point out that you said all your volunteer slots are full, and then a couple approached you right before this live shot and said, we didn't sign up, but we're coming tomorrow. Yeah, it seems like that is continuing to happen. Molly, thank you so much for being here and for all Mercy Chefs and all these volunteers are doing. Thank you. All right, Steve and Stephanie, I will send it back to you.
All right, Myra, and thank you so much for that. We're going to continue now our team coverage. Rowan Belogan, who is a reporter with our sister station KPRC in Houston, is now live in Kerrville off of Arcadia Loop along the Guadalupe River, and that's where first responders just were a moment ago.
Yeah, Rowan, can you tell us what they were looking at, what they were doing out there?
Yeah, it was members with the Texas Department of Emergency Management along with the Texas National Guard. They were walking up and down the street here, really taking pictures of the damages at each person's home, and then the homeowners who happened to be here inviting them in along with the Campos. We were there with them as those first responders arrived here. Take a look at this video that they shared with us of the water rushing into their home and just around their homes in the hours of early July 4th that morning. Like many in the area, the water from the river rushing through. You can see their furniture is moving all around. Now, 4 people were inside the home at the time. The eldest, Campos, heard a noise, got out of bed to investigate, and there he saw his car moving along, scraping the side of the home. This is what alerted to him to something was up. So he rushes up, waking up everyone in the home to all get out. So this is how his son describes it, how it all unfolded.
How he heard it. And by the time I got out just to make sure to look, all the water was right there already to our front back step, actually. And then, yeah, the top of the back step. And by the time we already got to the vehicles, the water was already by the front door. And so we really couldn't save much. We just got as much as we could, ourselves included, and just hightailed it out here pretty much.
And yeah, like so many people right now, as you can see behind me here, a lot of cleanup efforts in day 4 of trying to clean up and piece together so much. The Campos telling me that they are grateful they all were made through all of this, but they, like so many across the nation, I think of those families that yet have answers as to any next steps here. Reporting live, Rowan Belogan, send things back to you all.
Rowan, thank you. Well, a lot of us still watching the skies.
Yes.
We talked about this a little bit, Adam, yesterday, the fact that I mean, whenever they hear of rain threats in a large part of these areas in the Hill Country, they're going to be shaken.
Yes, absolutely. Very sensitive to it, and rightfully so. I want to say the good news right now, rain-wise, is nothing's over the Guadalupe, the Blanco, or even the Medina River, the Frio River. No showers over there. Really, the threat is primarily to travel and the potential of flash flooding in the low water crossings and the typically flood-prone areas. These are pop-up downpours that can easily give you a quick 2 to 4 inches of rain at Atascosa County and now Kerr County, and just popped up right here within 410 downtown. Now, luckily, these are brief in nature. They don't last as long as what we had the other night and the other morning. Quick look at our rain chances. Now, these are mostly going to be afternoon. So generally between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. is when we can expect more downpours tomorrow, 40% coverage. However, I think a lesser of a chance in the hill country. It's mostly going to be along and south of Highway 90. Wednesday, a 30% chance. Thursday, Friday, we dry out. We have a lot of sunshine. By the weekend, a few rogue pop-up showers and storms possible. And then Monday, I boosted us up to scattered 40% chance. Coming up at 6, we'll talk more about the aquifer, lake levels, and other things related to all this rain, and even a recap of how much rain fell in the hill country and the swell of the Guadalupe. Looking outside, we're looking south at the downpour that's over downtown. We'll be right back.
With this devastation that we're seeing up in the hill country, this is perhaps a moment for us to get together and lean on each other. Happening tonight, Centro San Antonio is hosting a candlelight vigil to honor and remember those who have been lost in the deadly flooding. This is happening at Travis Park. It starts at 8:30 tonight. And also at the vigil, Centro San Antonio is going to have a relief drive to collect donations and other essential items for the families who have been affected by the floods. We'll be right back.
All right, we're zoomed in on downtown right now, looking at the downpours that are moving through, and even a few strikes of lightning as well. This is going to be around through about 9 p.m. We'll have these pop-up showers and thunderstorms generally along and south of Highway 90, but can't rule out one or two even up into the hill country. Again, this is through 9 p.m. Primary threat is to travel and typically flood-prone areas, so be cautious for some flooding on the roadways. Really quick look at the futurecast here, and it does anticipate, again, this all ending after sunset, so by 9 o'clock. And then another round similar to today as we get into tomorrow afternoon. More peak of the day heating.